So this month we are looking at manifesting Christian character. So there's no way we can talk about Christian character without touching marriage. Because marriage is one of God's greatest gifts to humanity. And that is why the marriage relationship is likened to Christ's relationship with the church. Of course, you know, the Bible says Christ is the groom and we are his bride. So that's the only relationship that is likened to the relationship of Christ with church. And I used to tell people that the devil will not bother fighting you when he gives you a bad husband or a bad wife. Because as far as the devil is concerned, he has finished with you. One of your greatest undoing in life is to end in a bad marriage. I think it's the assistant hell. It's just, the difference is that this particular hellfire is the one you experience on earth, where you end in a bad marriage. That is why I congratulate people when they are still single. You know why? You still have the opportunity to make the right decision. There are so many married people who are just cohabiting. They are not happily married. They are just staying together. They are just patching. And that has never been God's intention for marriage. And I want you to understand that character is one of the ingredients for a successful marriage. If you fall for looks over character, the fall of your marriage is inevitable. Because I've discovered and I've studied very well that my generation is moved by what they see. They are moved by height. They are moved by complexion. They are moved by condiments. You know what I mean by physical condiments? She has to be busty, shape 8. The guy has to be tall. God bless you. 6-pack. The guy needs to have abs, pink lips. And that's why some people are using sugar to peel their lips. The last time I checked, all these physical qualities does not contribute anything to marriage. Have you ever asked anybody, don't worry, we are going to read Bible. Have you ever asked anybody that what is the secret of the success in your marriage? I mean, people who are having successful marriage. And you ask them, Oga, please, or Madam, please, what do you think is the secret of a successful marriage? And they tell you that it's because my wife is tall, or because I married a fair man. That's why marriage is sweet. Have you ever heard such thing? Physics is important, right? But character is the ingredient for a successful marriage. And I discovered that a lot of marriage is ending in divorce today. Whether Christian marriage, the unbeliever's marriage, because of the things people do and the things they don't do in marriage. Because there is no institution that requires work like the institution of marriage. Singles, let me still congratulate you again. Clap for yourself. See, you don't know what God has done for you now that you are single. God has shown you mercy. You are the one that he has shown me. Right? Sing it loud. You have shown me mercy. They are singing. But it's true. won't understand. I'm in the best position to say this to you because this is my field and I've heard a lot in these few years that I've practiced marriage counselor or marriage counseling. Open your Bible to the book of Romans. Romans chapter 12 verse 2. Romans 12 verse 2. I'm talking this morning on what I titled your character and your marriage. Romans chapter 12 verse 2. I would prefer the amplified version. Amplified. He says, do not be conformed to this world, this age, fashioned after and adapted to its external superficial custom. He says, but be transformed, be changed by the entire, what? Please mark that word, entire. Okay? Renewal of your mind by its new ideals and its new attitude, so that you may prove for yourself what is what? Good. And what is what? Acceptable. And what is what? Perfect will of God. Even the things which is good and acceptable and perfect in his sight for you. Can I say NLT? Now, one of the proof that you are now a Christian is not the fact that you are consistent in going to church. One of the proof that you are a Christian is that something in you has been transformed. Something in you has been changed. Something in you is supposed to be new. And it begins from the renewal of your mind. He said, don't copy the behavior and the custom. That means there is a worldly behavior. And there is a Christ-like behavior, because Christianity is all about becoming like Christ, right? So there is a worldly behavior and there is a Christ-like behavior. He said, but let God do what? Transform you into a new person by changing the way you what? Think. Then you will learn to know God's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect. That means there is a character that is not Christianly. We have two types of character. We have good character and we have bad character. And what I'm focusing on today is, if you have a good character, you have no problem in marriage, because that is where it begins from. I've come to discover that no matter how good you are, if you marry a bad person, marriage will still be difficult. One good cannot cover up for the other person. Because the last time I checked, marriage is never about one person. Have you ever tried frying egg before and you broke 3 good eggs? Very nice. And you now say, let me make it 4. And the last one you added was rotten. What happens to the egg? It spoils everything. The church is a place, even the world is a place, where everybody is looking for a good husband. Everybody is looking for a good wife. I have no problem with you looking for a good husband or wife. The only question I have for you is, are you good too? Because no matter how good the person you marry is, when you have bad character, marriage becomes unbearable. Now, the bad character you fail to work on now that you are single will be an obstacle to your marriage. And the person that you choose to marry will be producing after their kind. So you must understand first that God is interested in your marriage more than you think, because he wants to achieve a purpose through your marriage. And I hope you know that your marriage is a worship to God. You honor God not just in your service, but you honor him in your marriage, in how you choose to live your married life. So when you get married, whoever you choose to get married to will be producing after their kind. Some of you want to raise godly children, and the only people you are attracted to are worldly people. Be sure to know that when you end up marrying a worldly person, you don't get a godly person in the marriage. And do you know that it's very possible for opposites to attract? That is why you see, when you see a quiet person, they are more likely to marry somebody who talks. And when you see a talkative, they are more attracted to somebody who is reserved. And I've discovered that world people will marry somebody who is totally different from them and try to change them in marriage. Now, why are you trying to change what you saw from the beginning? In marriage, what you order is what you get. You can't order for mango and get orange in marriage. So people are trying to marry mango and get the taste of pineapple in marriage. What you order is what you get. If you marry somebody that cheats when you are single, you are dragging with other girls. Side chicken. You are single, you are dragging. And you are saying, I won. The person managed to marry you at the end of the day. After you have fought 10 girls, you are saying you won. The good news is, you just started a new battle. You didn't win. The other girls that you won actually won over you. Because the battle you are fighting as a single person will be in marriage to face you every day you wake up. Whenever I attend marriage and I sit down looking at people taking their vows, my mind will be beating. And what I tell myself is this: do these people know what they are signing? Do you know that we give you something to sign? Now you bring and sign now. You don't win contracts. You will sign and you see them saying, to have and to hold, in for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health. For richer, for poorer, you marry, no food, you don't dey tie face. You don't forget what you sign. No, but you talk in the presence. One thing people don't understand is that when you are taking those marital vows, aside your parents and the people that are present, God is seated. And he's taking notes. And what you are doing, what you don't understand, is that if you must do marriage God's way, you must understand that you must understand and follow the principles of the Bible. God is present. So I was talking about producing after his kind. Genesis chapter 2 verse 19. I'm still talking to singles. I'll come to married people. Genesis chapter 2 verse 19. Now that Bible verse was talking about good. It says, so the Lord formed from the ground all the wild animals and all the birds of the sky. He brought them to the man to see what he will call them. And the man chose a name for each of them. There are people that God will send in your way as a single person to see what you will call them, not to settle with them. You don't understand. If Adam had called a tiger his wife, it would have been sealed. Maybe today would have been half man, half woman. And maybe the tiger would have ended up eating him. Now there are people God will send your way as a single person, not just for you to marry. He's sending them your way to see what you will call them. That means as a single person, you can be in a season in your life where you are praying for God to send you a life partner. Anybody can come, and that person does not mean the person is your husband or your wife. So because you are praying and you see a sister in church, fair. You know the 19 I like. That's how girls are bleaching now. Fair. You now say, God has answered me. This must be a confirmation. there are people God will send your way to see what you will call them. Don't call a goat your husband. Don't call a goat your wife. When the one that is for you comes, you will know. And let me tell you why some people ended up choosing the wrong person. They ended up choosing the wrong person because they were not deep themselves. If you are spiritual, it takes a spiritual person to know another spiritual person. The Bible says, deep calleth unto the deep. So if you are deep, when you see somebody that is not as deep as you are, you know. You know. As I always say, Mama, please, I don't understand. You should know that people pretend a lot. Some people can pretend. The answer is this. They can deceive your eyes. They can deceive your ears. They can deceive you by what they say, but they can't deceive your spirit. And that is why it's important that you yourself, you are spiritually sound, because some of you praying for good husbands, spiritual, God-fearing husbands are disasters yourself. You are not God-fearing. So it takes a spiritually sound person to recognize another spiritually sound person. Forget about some of you be praying. The only thing you have right now as a characteristics or as a quality for a good person is prayer. Every other thing is zero. The place of preparation is as equally important as the place of prayer. Now we have so many folks in church praying for marriage that are not preparing for marriage. When I talk to some people for 5 minutes, I said this one is not ready for marriage yet. Marriage is deeper than you think. It's not a place where you go display ignorance. It's better you enter prepared and you know what you are doing. What is character? Character is the mental and moral qualities distinctive to an individual. That means character is the characteristics of the person that distinguishes you from others. Now, what's the characteristics of this microphone? Huh? It produces sound, right? Your character is what you produce. Your characteristic. When people look at you, what is the first thing that comes to their mind? It's not about going to church. Trust me. Church is like a clinic. You find everybody there. A member once walked to the pastor and said, I'm tired, I want to leave church. Because I discovered that there are so many fake people in church. I saw this particular person in club yesterday. The person is in church. I know how troublesome this person now is. The person is in church. I saw this particular person pressing phone in church. They don't honor God's presence. So what is the need of being in church? And the pastor told the person, he said, don't worry. Stay. Before you go, I want to give you one assignment before you leave the church. And on the day of the service, the pastor gave the member a glass of water. He said, as far as service is going on, be walking around the church. He said, walk around the church, I think about 30 times, or walk till we close. So the person was so focused on holding that thing and rounding and rounding and rounding. At the end of the service, the pastor called the member and said, okay, how far with your assignments? What else did you notice in church today? She said, I didn't notice anything because I was busy concentrating on the cup of water I was carrying. And he said, that is what it's supposed to be. When you come to the presence of God, you are not looking at who is doing and who is not doing. You are not concentrating who is not praying enough. You are not looking at who is smoking. You are not looking at who is drinking, because most people you see are people that are a work in progress. So he said, are you still living in the church? He said, no, I think I'm the one with the problem. I keep paying attention to what people are doing and I am losing focus. What am I trying to say? Your spirituality or your character should not just be displayed in church. You should wear it like a badge everywhere you go, especially in your marriage. How do I know that you love God? And how do I know that you are a spiritual person? Your relationship with God will be reflected in your relationship with your spouse. If you are a true Christian, it will show in how you relate with your husband or your wife. Why do I respect my husband today? Even if he coughs in church, just cough. I receive it and I am blessed. You know why? He's a man of God that practices what he preaches. Do you think if he's giving me problem in marriage, when he's preaching and I'm sitting here, I'll be doing, yeah. He's saying, thou shalt not lie. And I look at him, hey, this man was a bit lie now. Wow. He said, thou shalt not commit adultery. And I checked that maybe he has slept with all the choir members. The Christianity you have not practiced in your house, don't bother to export it. Because one thing I discovered is that so many people they wear the look of a good person outside. They are very nice outside. They are very loving. They are very polite. They are very humble until you go to their house. Your Christianity should first be reflected in your house. And I've come to tell you that marriages don't die. People kill it. There are so many people today who are married, but the character of their spouse is taking them away from God. What is your characteristics? What do you represent when you are not in church? When nobody is looking at you, are you a good wife? Are you a good husband? Before my husband and I got married, we signed a contract verbally. He told me that he was from a broken home. Now the thing is this, let me give you a secret. When you are going to marry somebody who is looking for what you are looking for. Marry somebody who has the same value for marriage as much as you have. Because there are people who don't even have value for marriage that are sitting down here. But everything in your life begins from your home. Do you know that when two couples who are married, decide to live in peace and pray about a particular thing, even the devil cannot stop them? So we had a contract. And what was the contract? I had a vision right from time. And that was a vision that my marriage would be heaven on earth. So when I met my husband, even before getting confirmation from God, I got physical confirmation. The first time he approached me, he told me, what kind of marriage do you want to have? He approached me as my husband, as a pastor. So I was so open to him, I couldn't pretend. I told him that I wanted somebody that is God-fearing, not a pastor. Somebody that is thoughtful. I hate stupid people. Somebody that is kind. Somebody that is loving. And he looked at me and he said, okay. And he told me, he said, I'm from a broken home as well. My desire in life is to enjoy marriage. I don't want to have a broken home. I nodded. Even if I did not know that he had intentions, I knew what I want. Some of you don't even know what you want. You don't have value, no standard. If I ask you today, what kind of man do you want to marry? He has to be rich. He has to be doing something. All he has to is centered on money. At least let him have something. At least let him be a person of goal, and at least let him have a job, or at least let him. All your at least is centered on business. It's centered on money. So what you are going into the marriage to see is money. What you will get, not what you will give. And I can tell you that much of the problems we are having in marriages today is that people are going into marriage to receive. I want to marry somebody that will love me. You won't you love the person? I want to marry the person somebody that will give me peace. What about you? Are you carrying peace enough? That because marriage is never about one person. A one-sided marriage is overload. When you marry somebody with the mindset of receiving, the man comes with the mindset of receiving, the woman comes with the mindset of receiving, you will discover that nobody is giving love. Everybody is centered on receiving. Our marriage is about give and take. You give, I come, I give commitment. You give respect, I come, I give respect. You give love, I come, I give love. You give forgiveness, I come, I give forgiveness. It is about two people coming together. So when two people decide to do what is best for each other, can you fix it? When two people decide to come together to do what is best for each other, love in marriage grows. When you discover that the love in your marriage is going down, the both of you are not doing what you are supposed to do. If all of us will take our place and do what is expected of us in marriage, everything will go well. Now, how do you build a healthy marriage? How do you build a healthy marriage? But first, I want you to understand that marriage is about giving kindness. It's about giving love. It's about giving forgiveness. It's about giving commitment. So when you enter with the mindset to give, and the person coming too enters with the mindset to give, see, love grows effortlessly. It grows effortlessly. 1 John chapter 4 verse 8. 1 John 4:8. But anyone who does not love, does not know God. For what? So what is the sign that you know God? I want you to say it out loud. What is the sign that you know God? He says, but anyone who does not love does not. So it doesn't matter how tongue speaking, well suited, and how eloquent your voice is in worship. When you don't love your spouse, you don't know God. Part of how I can weigh your walk with God is how you treat your spouse. So how do you build a healthy marriage? Number one, the first way to build a healthy marriage is to share love. Share love. Now let me tell you something. When you enter into marriage expecting somebody to do all you want, you are in control. You are not love. You are not in love. Have you ever seen people like that? Now waiting they want go happen for that marriage. Now the house where I want will go rent. It is where I want us to go to, we will go to. It is what I want to eat that we will cook. It is the school I want my children to go to that they will go to. That is not love, that is control. And so many times where there is love and no freedom, there is slavery and rebellion. Some of you, when you married that person, the person was quiet. When you talk, the person will not say anything. When you manipulate, when you shout on the person, when you do whatever you want to do, the person was patient with you until the person realized that he or she is in bondage, not marriage. Your wife is not your slave. Your husband is not your slave. Any marriage that must thrive in this kingdom must be a marriage where there is shared love, shared responsibility, shared interest. I don't just give respect, you give me too. I don't just give commitment, you give me commitment too. I don't just love, you love me too, because marriage is never about one person. So when you discover that a person is feeling oppressed in marriage, the next thing you begin to see is rebellion. You know why? There is no freedom. There are some people who are married today, it feels like they are in a cage. They are not free to play with you. They are not free to advise you. They are not even free to suggest. They are not free to correct you. They are not free to express their feeling to you. You know why? They are in control, not in marriage. Now ask yourself, do I have this control tendency? That it is what I want to do. That it is what I want to do in this marriage that will stand. If you are like that, you are selfish. Marriage is not about selfishness. When one person is being controlled, it is what? Not love. Shared love, shared responsibility, shared commitment. How do you know you are controlling? You are controlling when you want things to always go your way. Please, I need handkerchief. You are controlling what? I'm saying important thing. I used to tell people that the devil is the enemy of marriage. I'm telling you. So how do you know you are controlling again? When you always want things to do what? Go your way. See, nobody is doing anybody a favor for being in marriage. We are both doing ourselves a favor. So if you choose to help me, you are not doing me a favor. You are just being committed to this marriage the same way I am committed. So stop treating your spouse like you are doing them a favor for marrying them. The both of you are doing a favor for each other. The both of you are equally important in that marriage. So there should be no superiority. Of course, we know the man is the head, right? But being a leader even requires more responsibility. A leader that is too rigid, a lot will happen under his nose without knowing. And a leader that is a dictator is full of mistakes. Because even when people see you go into the pit, they can't talk to you. They can't correct you. You'll discover that your life is full of error. So humility in your home does not downgrade you. A true leader is humble and is accessible. There are some of you, when you are coming home, everywhere is tensed. The child runs to the door. Daddy is coming. It's not like my own that they want to tear the window to come out. Daddy is coming. Everybody is running. Everybody's adjusting. Because the great one, the Almighty, the Indaboski of the family is coming. Everybody must adjust. If that is the kind of marriage you are running, even you will not enjoy your marriage. There are some of you, even if you travel for 2 years, nobody misses you. Because your presence and your absence is the same. Nothing different, nothing added, nothing missing. We don't miss you like that. In fact, some of you, your children will say, Daddy, when are you traveling? They are tired. They want freedom. Daddy, you know they travel again. Because they don't feel the joy. That should not be the kind of atmosphere you raise your children. And I tell people, be careful of the things you do in marriage, because you are modeling to your children the normal. If you are the type that beats your wife, your daughter will grow up thinking it's okay to receive beating from any man. So she can go into relationship with a man that is abusive, because she grew up thinking that it is normal. And when you are going to marry, ask the person questions to know they are normal. In some people's families, it's normal to slap. Some people's normal is not normal, though. There was ask questions. In fact, ask about customs and tradition, because another type of marriage that is problematic is marriage that has to do with different cultures, especially when you come from different tribes or different locations. I once had counseling with a couple in USA. So the woman is from Zimbabwe and the man too is from the Zimbabwe, but they are from different ethnic groups. So when they want to marry, the mother of the guy was telling the guy that this girl you want to marry, we see them as our slave. And we heard that they don't used to have respect. They control men. So that thing has been there. He went ahead to marry her. So one day, Mama came visiting. In fact, Mama stays in the house. So Mama went out and came back. And when she came back, Mama was frowning her face. So the daughter-in-law now asked Mama, Mama, why is your mouth long like this? Mama said, hey, my son's wife has insulted me. That is where battle began from. And I asked her, I said, Madam, why did you say Mama's mouth is long? She said, Mama, in my place, when we say, why is your mouth long? What we mean is, why are you angry? Culture. So in their place, it's normal to tell either grown-up people or young people, why is your... So you can walk to your father now and say, Daddy, why your mouth long? Try it in Nigeria. If not, the slap will follow you. So understand cultural difference. Those of you that say, I want to marry another tribe, because that person will innocently be displaying what they think is right. And to you, it may not be traditionally correct. You say, my own house. Have you heard people say that? They know they talk to a woman like this. But you are not in your house. When they are abroad. So what is your normal? What is the person's normal? So I know that a successful and a thriving marriage is a marriage where love is shared. Respect is shared. We give each other, we treat each other well. Shared responsibility. No control. You are controlling when you always want things to go your way. Number 2. Another way to build a healthy marriage. I don't know what's wrong. Or should we change? Should I change it? Okay. Another way to build a healthy marriage is you must understand that love cannot grow if you both can't give and accept correction. Love cannot grow when the both of you cannot give or accept correction. Ephesians chapter 4 verse 15. Ephesians 4 verse 15. He says, instead, we speak the truth in what? Love. Growing in every way and more like Christ, who is the head of the church. Don't marry somebody that does not accept correction. And don't marry somebody you cannot correct. Now, let me tell you why correction is a problem in marriage. It's not necessarily because correction is really a problem. What is the problem is how you decide to do the correction. Your partner may be doing something wrong, and you can choose to correct them. How did the Bible recommend that you correct your husband or your wife? You speak the truth to each other in what? In love, because marriage is one institution that is full of offenses. I tell people, nobody can offend you like the person you marry. So what do you do when these offenses come? When you are correcting your partner, check your tone. I posted something on my Facebook this week. I said it is possible to be angry with each other and not insult each other. Why am I saying it's possible? It has worked in my marriage. Next month, I'm going to be 10 years in marriage. I'm matured in this thing, forget. Do you know what 10 years is? And I stand before God to say I have never insulted my husband. Some people say, hey, it's possible. And he has not done the same. Do you have a misunderstanding? I've already told you that marriage is full of offenses. We have misunderstanding, but we have learned to control what we say when we are angry. Let me tell you, you need to be careful of what you say, because that moment may pass, but what you say will remain. And that is why one of the fruits of the Spirit, see, you can't even have Christian character when you don't have self-control. Galatians chapter 22 verse 23. There are days I want to say, this man, you get coconut head. Especially when you advise him and he doesn't listen and the thing can't happen. You feel like saying, this is your coconut head safe. Because sometimes the person you marry, I'm sorry, I don't want to use, they will behave like animals sometimes. Are we not humans? See, you can't control people's behavior towards you, but you can control your reaction. That is what differentiates between the person who is spiritual and the person that is not spiritual. I told you people that the first quarrel my husband and I ever had in our life was after my marriage. And it was because of meat. Goat meat. It was on a Christmas day. And because of our humble beginning, my husband bought goat. You know it's in me where we say only Christmas day when they see goat chop or chicken. So my husband, and in my own house, every December we kill goat. Okay? And what we do is that when we kill the goat, we will pick the one we are using for Christmas. Then we will dry the legs and some other parts so that we'll reserve. After Christmas, we'll still be eating meat. So that was what I believed. My own husband, in his own, I don't know if it's his own family, they finished the meat. So when I got my husband, when he has changed. Before I married my husband, our house will be full. We use big pots to cook. So he believe, commode the food, may everybody chop. Tomorrow God will provide. That is my husband for you. So the first Christmas, they don't kill goats. As the new wife in charge of the kitchen, I was feeling myself doing organization. I did pepper soup. It's like all his brothers were around. They came and some church people came. I did the pepper soup. What I did was I put it in a big bowl, I think. I gave them. Everybody ate pepper soup. I never knew, for my mind, I don't serve them meat. My husband never knew that was just appetizer. Maybe this one go just and wash mouth until before she bring the main meat. They don't finish him. He came to the kitchen. He said, how far? The other one's never ready. Bring. It was strange to me. I said, I don't understand now. Maybe tomorrow still be Christmas. Which one go use cook, share food? Because in Kogi that time we used to share. I said, which no be now where we say the neighbor they even live with you. No. Before you go even carry food, go give them. That time we will share food. I said, baby, the one where they now, now the one we say for fry them, we go use and cook tomorrow. Then this particular leg, it will take us months. Because I know say for this house, no be every day we see meat chop. The next thing man of God will say is, now you buy the meat. I don't understand. Now me buy meat how? Instead of be me use money, buy meat. Me I say bring meat, me we chop. And me I say no, we can't finish the meat now. And so argument start to. I will not give you. No, you should not. We understood tone. Because people were in the parlor. They know say mama and papa they fight on top meat. And I like meat. So I was protecting it with all my heart. So that I not go finish. He said, bring it. Only you. His own mind. Only you feel chop him. And me, I was considering the future. You know what he did? He held my hand. Come, more practicalize what we do that day. That's why he hold my hand, go bedroom. We enter bedroom, he sit down. Me self sit down. I hope you know I am the head of this house. I say, I know. Why are you disobeying me? I said, bring meat, let us eat. I said, this particular meat like this. You see today, it can't work. And so begin quarrel. When he was saying you are being stubborn and I don't like it, I say, you can say anything you want to say. In all this thing, we don't still insult each other yet, though.
People in the parlor did not know.
People in the parlor didn't hear our voice. Those of you that think you need to shout before you correct your partner because you think the shouting is what will make the person listen to you, you are making a mistake. How many times have you shouted? She don't still repeat what things you talk. So it's not about shouting. That's why it's important that you correct in love. So you know what happened? When he was talking, you know what I did? I stood up in anger. I was going to leave the room. I got to the door. He said, if you touch that door, I can't think. I don't over process because I dey fear beating right from childhood. I dey fear beating. So now I was calculating. Okay, what's come to what? If I open this door now, this man will beat me. And I don't like beating. Then another thing. If I open this door, come out. Is that not disrespect? Is it right to walk out on your husband like that? So that few seconds, and that's why I said, when you are angry, one thing is sure, you can't make the right decision. And another thing is this. One thing I advise people, when you are angry, pause. Take a deep breath before you react. You know, they make you make mistake. As the provocation they come, you they follow them. You they give them. You don't give time to think about the consequence of your action. After everything, don't calm down. Because bad as it bad, when I go see settle. Yes. Couples can quarrel in this morning. And the next afternoon, they are having sex that same day. That's why when it comes husband and wife matter. When it comes husband and wife matter, no, they pull out. They go use you settle. Now someone come and ask that they report, please, this day, we never finish. Now someone call, report, my husband did this, he hit me. My husband say, I want to go back to the marriage. He said, me, I will not go back, oh. The next thing we heard, my husband said, it's like you saw them. Together. He saw them together. And what were they saying? The woman was telling the man, that time when they quarreled, this person said this one, this person said this one. Now you, they go, you said to fight. So he said, if you move from that door, and so I pause. I don't want collect beating, number one. I don't want disrespect. But of course, he has never given the sign that he will ever raise hand. But I was conscious of the fact that my action can trigger the hand. Because I've discovered in counseling that not be who reports first. Now be the right person. No. Person they cause problem if the first person will go report. The woman, especially women, they can be very emotional in counseling room. My husband is this. He never takes me out. The man go say, that day while I carry your mama around town, you know, appreciate him. He never gives me money. What about 500,000? What I give you last month? You know, women can be very emotional. So I tried to listen to two of them. So when I stopped, he dropped me back. I came back. You know what I did? When I came back, I just sat down quiet. I no talk again, no.
Close to me.
Close to Ram. And as the person he is, the next thing he did, he was like, "I come." That was the last day we had a triggered argument to the point that I will say, I want to walk. He said, I just say, make I test you. Make I see whether you go disobey me, open that door. Now you go define how I go treat you continuously. Because if you get strong head, even the quiet man, we want to use iron hand. That's what women don't understand. Because a man protects his ego. There's one thing men have, it's called ego. And if they discover that as a woman, you are trying to compete with the ego, or you are trying to trample upon the ego, they begin to see you as an enemy. You know what the Bible says? It says soft answer turns away wrath. But you get some wrath where soft answer no they turn away, sha. Have you seen people who are angry? But what I'm trying to say is this. Thank you, sir. You should not marry somebody that does not take correction. There are people that can never be wrong. See, you will know from dating them. If you not get arguments, they will never admit that they are wrong. They will be justifying what they did. They will have reply for everything you tell them. And at the end of the day, I discovered that sorry is far from such people. Person knows he say wrong, now sorry you won't collect. Not be until I wrong, I go say, and such people who does not believe that they can ever be wrong, their life is full of mistake. Because very soon, when you discover that a woman has corrected you and she just leaves you, she no talk again, it's not because you have started doing the right thing. It's because you do anything you want. At that point, sorry. Then, when it comes to correction, you need to understand that situations will provide that you need to correct your partner sometimes more than once. You know, the issue we have is this. Some of us, we want, when we tell our partner, stop this thing, we think that they go stop. Some of this character they have, they don't build them since childhood. It won't take one stop for them to stop. After saying stop, be patient and watch the effect of your first stop. If it not happen, use another approach. When you give birth to a child, does the child start walking the same day? The child will not walk that day. Be patient enough. Example, when I got married to my husband, when I do my makeup, I will always open window. And now they even cause some. You know how we used to dress? The men una no get problem. Una just bath, wear clothes. Go sit down inside car. They'll be horning. Beauty, baby, 9 o'clock. Be fast. It remains small. We'll never wear shirts. We'll never wear shoe. So because of the way I rush out of the room, I will always forget to close the window. And he will tell me, always close the window. The next day, I will do the same thing. Not because I am disobedient. Trust me, I forgot. Because I was in a hurry. There was one day I left the room, rain fall, room wet. He said, I told you. I clean them. There was another day, he dropped money close to the mirror. And the mirror was close to the window. So I didn't close the window. When we came back from church, they don't steal him money. He was angry. See, I don't tell you, they close this window. Is it that you know the hear word? I said, baby, sorry, no verse. And that was the only money we had. You know what he did? When he discovered that I used to forget, to avoid shout, if I do makeup, he go wait, he go close the window. So there are some things you don't even need to stress yourself. That is where compromise in marriage comes in. There are some things that if you know you can't change, look for another way. Change your perspective about that thing. If now waiting no go kill two of us, let's look for a way that will balance it, that it will not be a problem between us anymore. So, if you don't like or accept correction, marriage will be very difficult for you. Number 3, surround yourself with friends who will strengthen your marriage. Some people's marriages were good until their husband met one friend. Some people's marriages were good until their wife started having plenty friends. That's how they will tell you what you will do in your marriage. Is it human that will tell you, or you follow what the Bible says you should do in your marriage? That's how they will say, my wife no fit monitor me like this, oh. My wife no fit talk to me like this. And beware of people that say, my wife no fit do this thing for me like this. Now they're humble pass for house. And you, they will tell you, my husband no fit do, you go house like this. And so they break your hand, man. You don't talk to me like that. You weren't seeing it as a problem until somebody pointed it out as a problem. That is why I always tell people, make sure you relate with people who have value for marriage. If not, they will corrupt you. There are people who already know that their marriage is going nowhere. They are looking for people who will accompany them. They know that their marriage is already a failed marriage. You, that you are having peace. Trust me, it takes more energy to fight than to live in peace. You, that you are having peace in your marriage because somebody advised you. That was all. So move with people with the marriage, who have the marriage you desire. 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 33. I need the good news version. 1 Corinthians 15, 33. 1 Corinthians 15, 33. He said, do not be fooled. Bad companion ruins what? Good. So it doesn't matter how good your character is. when you begin to relate with people that does not have value for God, very soon, if they are 5, you will be the 6th person. When you begin to relate with people that does not respect their wife, no matter how good you think you are, very soon you too will begin to see your wife the way they see their wife. If you hang around women, some of you, I pity some women. You are relating with some women who have no value for marriage. Some of them are not even married. Some of them are divorced. And you think you are going to hear the right things from them? Some of you will go and be reporting your marital problem to everybody that cares to hear in the community. Everybody in that road knows that your husband is a bad person. Person, if they even pass for road, you say, Madam, come. I know say you be stranger, but they say a problem shared is a problem solved. See what my husband, my spirit tell me, say you go fear advise me. Somebody they walk out for road. That is how you have shared your problem. You have opened up your marriage to the point that it is contaminated. Why do you think that people cover food when they cook it? They don't want it to be contaminated. I'm not saying that when you are going through operation, you keep quiet. But there are people you should not discuss your marital problems with. Especially people you know do not have your solution. Why share with them? That's why after you have long settled your problem, they are discussing you people. You are holding hands. They say, if I beg, no mind then, and then fight pass. And you people have gone past that level. Speak up. Number 4. If your marriage must be healthy, speak up. Learn to communicate your needs to your partner. One thing I've discovered in marriage is that we are so full of saying the things our partner is not doing. How about you start telling them what you want them to do? See, if you have told them and they are not doing it, it's a problem. But you are echoing more of what they are not doing. What about the things they are doing? Let me tell you what will encourage anybody to have a conversation with you. Never start a conversation with your husband or your wife by criticizing them. That is if you want them to listen to you. You are saying, only sit down more we talk. The man don't sit down. The next thing you are saying is, I think you are my nightmare. Like, all my family members advised me that year. Say, me cannot marry you. But I don't know what's push me. Imagine starting a conversation with somebody like this. My brother, my sister, anything you say, now like this. Because you have already killed their morale. You don't say they want me that year, but I know here. No be I don't enter fire, so. You wicked. You don't see the way Mama Rosa, the husband, they treat him. You don't see the way. The man even sleep off. Or he go waka come out. How about you start a conversation by saying, hi baby, they try. I really, me like this. Especially when I want to say, correct him in some things. I'll start, now wow, you are a nice person. I don't even know anything I do God. When they can give me this kind husband. I'll say, look into my eyes. He know say wala day. No be by quarrel. Baby, look into my hand. He go say, I dey confess. He'll be forming active. I think one of the words that men are afraid of is we need to talk. If they hear them, they feel, so sometimes don't even tell them, we need to talk. Just start talk. just catch them when don't sit down. I'll just say, Kai, baby, you did try. Kai, you are a very nice man. No? But but you see that thing where you do. I say my own husband self go behave like this. I know say no be you. Nah devil. I don't accuse. I say I know you can't even do this ordinarily. Okay, but it is well. But this particular thing, what if you do it like this next time? You forget results. Some of you are talking to the man as if now you born now. You push. He come out, marry you. They never listen that way. Trust me. First, you have to appeal to their ego before you appeal to their heart. Appeal to their ego. Even your younger brother, my younger brother is here. days where he don't reach, he can't visit me. If I even shout for her, they see his face. My own younger brother, you say, Mama, I beg, I don't hear. They come up for the room. I never talk finish. You'll be pushing me out. Go, I don't hear you. You don't start, you don't come. No matter how small a man is, he doesn't want you to shout at him. Trust me. How much more? Especially those of you where they use millions, pay your bride price. You will come to think of how much you spend on top. You can't use the money they talk to them. The man is calculating. No, you know how they borrow money, marry you. I never even pay the money finish. You don't, and that's why you see them shouting, you don't appreciate me. Let me tell you how men are function. Some of you don't understand that men and women are not the same. Women are emotional. Men are more interested at the end point of a thing. You tell them, okay, you tell them no food in the kitchen. Him is more interested in, okay, how the food go take come. Let's do it. Finish. But women, before they tell you say no food, they go round about how you know they provide food, how you know care. They don't even want to tell you about school fees first. They'll begin to tell you how other children, then they go school, how other children, you know. We women are more of processors. And that is why, listen to me as a man. Anything you give to a woman, she will process it, incubate it, and she will give it back to you. If you give her fire, she will process the fire. She will incubate it. She will think about the thing. She won't return fire. She will return flames. One thing you must understand is that anything you give a woman, she doubles it and gives it back to you. And that's why my husband's approach is working. What he's doing is that he's giving me excess love. So I can't help but give back what he has given. And that's why when you give a woman sperm, she won't give you sperm back. Now Peking go carry give you. Give her money, she go market. Now food, she go return give you. So a woman has the capacity to double whatever. If you want to enjoy peace, give her peace. If you want to enjoy rest of mind, give her rest of mind. Because anything you give a woman, shout at her. From the beginning, she no go shout back. She go dey process some incubator. She go dey. Very soon you will discover that all of you in that house are shouting. She go cut and give her pikin. You will discover that even your child is shouting. Because anything you give to her, she will process it. And I'm giving you logical relationship 101. If you deposit, our own way is sweet. We say if you deposit 1,000, we'll give you 10K. The Bible says 1 will chase 1,000. 2 of you. Now the woman, they bring the extra 9. Only her. And trust me, if you say you go follow woman wahala as a man, you go tire. Because how can you even understand a creature when you understand himself? To be sincere, sometimes, I'm being real with you, we women, we don't know anything they do us. Do you know you can leave a woman smiling in the morning, you come back, I day here. So many things has occurred before you came. Sometimes, you tell her, she can't the tie face join. You tell her, babe, waiting they worry you. She'll say nothing. Is it that nothing? Oga, carry chair. Sit down. Because anything when don't make you no ask again, now offense, he doesn't care about me. And men, they work with what you tell them. Sharp guys. If you say nothing, they believe that there is. But if we say nothing, we believe, you vex me. You do this one. Ask me for your own good. Ask me again. There was a day, normally, when I miss my husband, little things, they vex me. I'm a lover girl because now he teach me. So if I don't miss him too much, especially when he's not around me, little thing I'll be irritated. And the only time they miss him when if they do projects. If not, I'll be handbag anywhere we go together. So one of those days he was doing projects in church. And my husband, when he calls and I'm not happy, the hello alone, he will know. So one of those days I was irritated and he called me. Hello. He said, wait till I do again. I said nothing now. I just said, The thing is this: if you can understand the person you marry, you won't have issues. If there is a way they will behave that you won't be angry, you just know this is his person, this is her person. He now say, "Toh, I know you. You don't dey miss me, ba? Will you come to church?" No. Okay, what will I buy for you? I say nothing. If we don't begin give one answer, just no say wahala dey. I say nothing. He say okay, no problem. I say you say okay. He can't say, should I buy you chicken? For house, but let's fit me by God's form. I say no, don't worry. But I was expecting chicken. How will I tell you no on top chicken and you believe me? Why will you even believe? Is it not strange? You self not go use your head. You supposed buy them. Now so God come, I don't have piece of chicken, they come home. As he enter room, I look and I don't see anything. First, the anger just go raise to power 2. I looked at his hand, there was nothing. I come bone face. He said, Shebi, I don't come house now. Women now wahala self too much. I'm at home now. Why are you not smiling? I said, nothing, I'm fine. I know fit bear am. I said, where is the chicken? He said, but he said, but no be you say they cannot buy. He said, women self, they no fit please you now. They no fit. But that is it. That's why the Bible says you live with her according to understanding. Knowing fully well that physically she's the weaker vessel. Do you understand? She's the weaker vessel. He said, do that so that your prayers will not. You know, say answer prayer. Your wife is sit down on top your answer prayer. I hope you know. Not because she's a witch, but because she's not happy with you. And that's why the Bible says, live with her according. See, if you even want to prosper, be pleasing her and tell her, pray for me. Pray for me. There is a favor she carries. He says, who finds a wife finds a good thing and does what? Obtains. Your favor now, your wife found the deal. You don't know. Cry to God when she is not happy with you. I'm sorry, it's not gonna work. So you must learn to communicate and don't argue. Most times your own, when they sit down to talk with you, it will lead to arguments. You know why? You people don't know how to do it. Communication is long. It's not something I can teach now. Finally, if you must have a healthy marriage, you need to practice humor. Play together to build intimacy. See, you guys are missing. You are missing a lot. See, marriage is sweet, I'm telling you. It depends on the cutlery you use to eat your own. It's very sweet. Some of you don't play with your wife. You don't play with your... You know, I just gave you people one of the things my husband did. When I came up, I said, forget. Igala man, my only Igala man romantic. I can't say that generally. Do you know what it means for you to be sleeping and they plant a kiss on your mouth? And you just open your eyes sheepishly. And you see him smiling and he goes back to sleep. You too sleep. Haba. Even if I don't pray for you, Dan. Even if I don't pray, let me see the devil. And that's why I tell him, rest. Anything will come, now me and him go face him. You know why? I am happy. You play with them, play with your children. Some of you, when you never marry, they hungry you to kiss her. If they hungry you to hug her, the only time you kiss is sex. Doris says, you can't wake up on a normal day to kiss your wife before going out. Headache go worry you if you kiss. If they give you headache, you can't do it. Fever go catch you. Intimacy is one of the bonding agents in marriage. If you see couples who are happily married, they play with each other. Hold hands, come. and walk. Your own, they are only your hands. Leave mine. No sister people they look. Leave. Are we boyfriends and girls? What it concern you with people? Baby, go and sit down. Do you know that in a week, like 3 times, yes, maybe 3 times in a week, in the evening, me and my husband, we drive out to go and chill. We go chop suya. We go drop children for house now. There's how that's they there. What are they there for? When we don't stand up like this, Lulu will say, Mommy, where are you people going to again? We say, don't worry, we are coming. We just go out there, eat as soon, eat suya. We just sit down. Sometimes, let me tell you what happened. Let me tell you what happened last month. I was coming to church. I tried like 6 clothes. The Saturday nights before. I don't used to do that, but I don't know if you tell me. Was it no more than 6? How that? 10, right? Me and Saudat, the man of God was busy preparing message. I go wear the first clothes. I go a enter room. Baby, is this one fine? He go say fine. I'll say Kai, but my belly big inside. It is show. I'll go back. I will change. I'll come back. This man is trying to hear from the Holy Spirit. I will come back. Baby, he said he fine, so that I go leave him. But me, I'm not satisfied. If I wear and I come, he will say, baby, I said the thing fine. He said, your wallet too much. I said, it's like I don't they add weight. This way yourself, where they buy for me, you know they help me. I will go back. I will change. I will come back. He will say, can you stop disturbing me about weight? You are not fat for God's sake. I said, no, I know myself. The clothes no balance. He no sit down. He said, then wear the one where you go happy. I will come back again. Do you know what my husband did to me the next day? Because I don't complain too much, say I dey fat. The next day, he said, baby, come on, go waka. And he did it in a romantic way. You know, tell me, say, you don't do over fat. You don't go watch him. You say, see as you fat. You better watch it, oh. This your fat. Make I no go they look outside. That's what some of you say. See as you just dey fat. You don't see this other person, everyone picking. He said, babe, let's go. Let's just take a walk. This man carry me around the state 2 times. He say, oh yeah, let's walk. We come back home. He said, Shebi, they complain, say you fat. Let's lose the weight together. He said, because I don't want anything that will bother you or anything that will make you sad. I noticed you were complaining, brethren and sisters. Since then, we have been walking. And you know what? We made it fun. We made it like, that's the moment we used to spend time together. So when we are doing it and we are talking, holding hands, sometimes we go even pause for road, hug each other. When I know sabi love, go and watch Indian film, go and watch tele. Do whatever you do, learn it. They know they born person with love. You want until they find money. The same one I go say money no day. This love no go sweet oh. Now money woman wants. Who told you? Do you know that 7 out of 8 richest men in the world are divorced? If it is money that keeps marriage, why are they divorced? It takes more than money to keep a healthy or to make a healthy home. As you are looking for money, money cannot take your place in the life of your wife. Money cannot take your place in the life of your husband. Some of you, Kodu. Who you know Kodu? Let me see your Kodu. Married men now they look. That's how you just come. You lie down, baby, good night. You face here. Your husband face here. See, these were the things that was, now the thing they hungry you. These were the things you wanted when you were single. Now when you dey married, see the thing there for you. You know they do. Some of you, your wife put head on your chest. 2 minutes later, baby, I better shit and hope you breathe. She tries to put her. Wait, as you say, I know sweet you. Talk true. Well, as you too local. You local. Your own they go hold you. I leave me. Nobody will they talk. I won't watch match. You know, sister, they don't win Chelsea. You say they don't score me now. You got some. Why you call they own me now? easily fight when you are doing these things. You will miss each other now. When you play together very well and you are so used to each other, when you fight, you will easily settle. Even when misunderstanding comes, you will easily settle. Why will you be together in the same house and you are not touching your wife? He's supporting me from behind. Why? A woman reached out to me, two of them with the husband. And the woman said, my husband doesn't touch me. I think, she said, since from January till now, I can say it's just once. The man sit down and so he do face. I say, oh God, what's happen? Because I see your wife, she's clean. Let me tell you what's not touching your wife does. It makes her feel like you are not attracted to her. It's not even about the sex.
Or you are touching someone
Or it will be like they do outside. Because if you know they won't do outside, men, you will like that thing. Forget that. Forget. You are normal. Nothing they do you. And you no touch. Do you know that a research was done in South Africa? And they said that the best and healthy way to have sex as a couple, normal, say your sex life day normal, is you need to have sex 21 times in a month. I saw some people they did. Say you are not a monk. Go and sit down. As that why they nod. 21 times. This is not for singles, please. Close your ear. I'm not talking to you. You know what? You know why they said that? In your old age, there are some sickness that will come when you are not having sex enough. For the man, there's something called prostate cancer. I don't know, there's this particular ailment they talked about in old age that it won't happen to you when you are having frequent sex with your wife. Do you know that sex reduces high blood pressure? Stop taking all those medicine. Go to your bedroom and fire. Do you know that sex, I'm giving you the benefits of sex, so that those of you that don't say everything is sex, is everything sex. It says food, it's food though. I can tell you that for married people, one of the reasons why so many married people are getting divorced today, am I not a counselor? Sex is a high range. Single, zip up, don't start what you cannot finish. If you do your own as sin, I know if you do something when I'm single. Now when you don't marry, where you get sense and license. See, let me tell you what happens. There is something called oxytocin. It's in the brain. It's called happy hormone. When you have frequent sex, look your life. If you be this person where they will easily quick verse. There's something called oxytocin in the brain. Whenever you have sex with your husband or your wife, you release it in your brain. It's called happy hormone. It's the hormone that is responsible for bonding you people together. Some of you don't even release it in your brain because physically you are not doing anything. And that's why your husband now is talking to the ex. The ex too is talking to, the wife is talking to her own ex. At the end of the day, people are giving the devil they own and the rest though. Una no call them. Una go use una hand invite them. Come una house. Because of the things you are supposed to do that you are not doing. Pay attention. Miss it in everything in life, but not in marriage. Celebrate Jesus.